And good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's edition of the Othor Cain Show. I'm Othor Cain. Glad to have you aboard on this Tuesday evening. Man, this weather is about to drive me insane. It's absolutely about to drive me insane. Silences are all over the place. We hope to get all of that rectified very soon. But thank you for being with us tonight. We certainly do appreciate that. Got lots to talk about tonight. But first, as always, we want to give thanks to all of you that are supporting our efforts. They have not gone unnoticed. We are extremely grateful. We are actually looking forward to 2025. Your support means a great deal to us. In fact, that's how we are able to do what we do because of your generosity and your support. And so let tonight be no different. Please share with us if you are so inclined, if you are so led to share with us, please do so. Good evening, everybody. As you're coming in, we are absolutely grateful that you are here. But please continue to show your support as we've been saying for the last few days that come 2025, we've got some exciting packages to offer for sponsorship, and we're looking forward to that. I think that this is an awesome, if I say so myself, it's an awesome platform to raise awareness to issues, to raise awareness to things that you are doing. So we are here and can help you with your marketing efforts. If you want to reach some folk, this is a great platform to do that. So thank you all for being here, and thank you all for your support. Again, if you want to make a contribution tonight, we will be ever so appreciative, ever so grateful. Our Cash App information is scrolling across the screen now, $ Othor Cain. There it is there, so you can see it in full view. $ Othor Cain. We are grateful and we are absolutely appreciative for any amount, big, small, and somewhere in between. We are absolutely grateful for that. Can't do it without you. Can't do it without your financial support. Can't do it without your engagement here every Tuesday and Wednesday. So big shouts out to all of you who've already supported and who continue to support. We are absolutely grateful. So we've got lots to talk about, and I think I believe that we will begin with those JSU Tigers. We worked really hard to try to secure Coach T.C. Taylor for tonight, but he had some commitments that he just couldn't get out of, and so hopefully we'll be able to bring an interview with him in the days to come. But how about those Jackson State University Tigers? Man, I just absolutely love that graphic, right? That's him holding the celebration, the Cricket Celebration Bowl trophy there. How about those Jackson State Tigers? We are extremely, extremely, extremely proud of those guys, proud of what Coach Taylor and his staff, Coach O and all of the coaching staff, what they've done, the leadership that they've instilled in those guys and the team that they've built. And of course, we are absolutely proud of the players. I mean, I had an opportunity to be in Atlanta this weekend, and when I tell you, it was absolutely electric. It was absolutely. Hey, Natalie, how are you, ma'am? Good to have you here. When I tell you Saturday was absolutely electric in them at that stadium, it was incredible, man. It was like nothing I've seen before. So let's look at this clip, and we'll let this set the pace for tonight. So we'll look at this clip of the Boom entering the Mercedes Stadium on Saturday. Man, when I tell you that place was absolutely on fire, it was absolutely on fire. All right, and not to be outdone by the boom, here are the teams entering into the stadium on Saturday.
Your communities should be proud.
All right, think we're gonna get the right clip up there. Maybe not. But listen, let me just tell you, it was some kind of amazing. It was absolutely some kind of amazing on Saturday. Jackson State did a really, really good job. They dominated the game the entire time. Actually, the score could have been and should have been even higher. There were two touchdowns taken away from us, but that's okay. I think we got another clip of JSU winning. Let's take a look at this. I think we may be having some. Okay, so those clips are loading. All right, so we'll get to those in just a little bit. Let me say this though. Let me say this: what Coach Taylor and his staff, what they've done, what they've been able to do in 2 years has been nothing short of amazing. And I just want to go on record here, and hopefully this will be my last time having to address this. So here's what I do believe. I do believe the win Saturday fully takes Coach Taylor from underneath the shadows of Coach Prime, right? I think the win Saturday sealed the deal and fully removes the veil that Coach Prime has had. And it baffles me that we have to continue to bring his name up in every conversation that we have about JSU. Maybe Saturday it ended. Hopefully we're done with that, right? Hopefully we are absolutely done with that. So I want to be clear. There's no argument, there's no denying what Coach Prime brought to Jackson State. He brought visibility, he brought marketing, he brought dollars, he brought notoriety, he brought um, cameras, he brought all of the bells and whistles, right? All of the star-studded events. He brought all of those things, and I think that our program will be forever grateful to that. And what he did for JSU actually resonated across the country to other HBCUs in terms of the notoriety, in terms of recognition. So he did those things. But he didn't leave a blueprint for Coach Taylor to follow by any stretch of the imagination. Hell, he took all the players with him and others transferred, right? He took the coaching staff with him, right? So he didn't leave a blueprint of winning for us. Coach Taylor, TC Taylor, is homegrown. He is a Jacksonian. He is a tiger through and through, right? He's a tiger through and through. And he and his team, and because of his vision, they rebuilt that program in 2 years. They rebuilt the program in 2 years and had a phenomenal season. From SWAC champions to national champions. Y'all, we have national champions right here in Jackson, Mississippi. We have national champions right here in Jackson, Mississippi. CD says people want us to thank him like we thank our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. It's 2024. The universe has moved on, and so should everyone else. I absolutely agree. Could not have said it better. I mean, we have given him all of the props that he needed. And listen, make no mistake about it. No one has ever argued that I know of, right? No one has ever argued. Anthony says TC and assistant head coach Otis, our homegrown Otis attended. He absolutely did. That's right, Otis. Really, he absolutely did. Love myself some Coach O. Um, so no one argues about wanting to advance your career. No one argues about wanting to get to the pinnacle of your career, go higher in your field, in any area, right? In any field, no one argues that, and so no one argued about the fact that he went on to what he considered a better school and made more money. No one argues that. I think the argument that I have had over it now was the way in which he left, right? And I think that's what we all were angry about. It was the way he left. Couldn't even give the boys an opportunity to celebrate, right? Couldn't even give the boys an opportunity to celebrate. Jackson State University rolled out the red or blue carpet, if you would, for him upon his arrival. Laid it out for him, let alone gave him his first chance, right? Let alone gave him his first chance at coaching, laid out the red carpet or laid out the blue carpet for him. And guess what? JSU would have done the same thing upon his exit had he given Jackson State University an opportunity to do it. But he decided to leave like a thief in the night, right? He decided to leave like a thief in the night. He didn't give us an opportunity to say thank you for your service. He ripped those young men of an opportunity of celebrating a victory. It was just god awful, and I think that's why everybody was so upset. It was his exit. Jackson State would have rolled out the red carpet for him upon his exit had he given us the opportunity to do so, and he didn't. Right, and he didn't, and that was my beef, and that was my only beef, right? Because nobody will argue or attempt to stand in your way for advancing your career. I think in all of our industries, we want to be at the top, right? We strive for better, we strive for more. We all want promotions, right? I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I'm telling you. But maybe now, for Lord help us, maybe now we can stop, mentioning Dion's name, right? I'm absolutely over it now. Maybe now we can stop because all of the accolades, right? All of the accolades belong to Coach Taylor, his staff, and those young men that are there now. All of the accolades belong to them. They are absolutely amazing. All right, so now I think the clip is ready where the team entered the stadium. Let's check that out and we'll continue.
Number 15, Jackson State out of the Southwestern Athletic Conference, taking on the Bulldogs of South Carolina State Champions out of the MEAC inside the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Chinnis Berry riling up his crew, coming onto the field and ready to try to take home a crown. Jackson State.
And Jackson State, be not mistaken, took home the crown. Let's take a look at this winning clip.
Your communities should be proud.
All right, I think we're having difficulties with that. But nonetheless, we're excited. Let me say this. So the city of Jackson is giving the Tigers a celebratory parade, right? A big parade is being planned, and I'm excited about it. It's really good that the city is embracing the Tigers, right? It's really good that the city is embracing the Tigers. Now, I know there's been a lot of chatter about the parade, right? I know there's been a lot of chatter about the parade, right? The parade will take place on Friday, January the 17th. The parade will begin at 6 p.m. I think it was originally announced maybe at 3. I thought 5, but I think it was originally announced for 3 p.m. But the parade will be Friday, January the 17th at 6 p.m. And this is a date that was mutually agreed upon between the city and Jackson State. This is the date that Dr. Marcus Thompson signed off on. I think the time was pushed back to include the Jackson Public School District to be a part of the parade. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be electrifying. I think people from everywhere are going to come and celebrate the Tigers near and far, right? I know across the state, across the country, they're going to come to celebrate the Tigers. And so, again, Friday, January the 17th at 6 p.m. I am not quite certain of the parade route. I've heard a couple of different things, but I don't really want to cite the parade route without having it officially in front of me. So make your plans now. You got plenty of time. You got a month to plan, to take off work early. If you need to take off work early to get there, you've got a month to plan. You've got a month to plan. So not only did Jackson State win the Celebration Bowl, right? Twice, they couldn't. This time, TC took them all the way over. So what that was like an electrifying day. And I had thought that. So the communications director from the city, my friend Melissa, she said it is the same route as the Christmas parade. That's what I heard, but I didn't have it in front of me. So thank you so much, Melissa, for verifying that. So it's the same route as the Christmas parade. And so, folk, y'all chill. I know everybody wants to celebrate. I know Saturday probably is an ideal day for a parade, but during that time, there are a lot of basketball games on campus, and people are just doing a whole bunch of things. And so Dr. Thompson signed off on Friday the 17th, 6 p.m. And so it will be the same route as the Christmas parade. And it's going to be phenomenal. So I salute Mayor Lumumba and his team for reaching out to Dr. Marcus Thompson and wanting to say, okay, the city wants to celebrate you, right? And so I also commend the city for giving Jackson State the $150,000 to help out with the SWAC Championship as well. Don't you like it when things just work together for the good, right? Don't you just like that when things just absolutely work together for the good? So make plans now for the parade. So not only was Atlanta on fire, not only was Atlanta on fire with Thee I Love, right? But in New York, there's a young man who played for the Tigers. He's now in Colorado. Travis Hunter won the Heisman, right? He won the Heisman, right? Absolutely incredible. He won the Heisman. So let's take a look at this clip of Travis Hunter as he wins the Heisman.
Number 15, Jackson State out of the South.
Man, I'm going to fire my producer tonight. She's all over the place.
Your communities should be proud as you inspire another generation of athletes. I also want to recognize mentors and coaches at every level who teach the same values we honor in each Heisman winner to our young men and women. And now it is time to make history and to find out who will join this elite company.
We did know they were here. We did know they were here. We put a camera. Travis, check this out. This is the moment your name was announced. I think it's like 50 buffs or somewhere in New York City. Wait for this moment.
Goes to Travis.
This guy is always incredibly generous to spread the credit around. It's always about the collective, not just him. We got another surprise for you. You mentioned Collins Hill, high school, Sewanee, Georgia. Here was their reaction when your name was read. bones hitting the floor. We appreciate you sharing your heart, sharing your story, and sharing the credit.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
These guys, we get to know you very well, and this man will represent this fraternity extremely well. Colorado has a second Heisman winner 30 years after Rashaan Salam. Holly?
Absolutely phenomenal. That young man is absolutely amazing. And guess what? He did not forget to thank Jackson State University. Take a look.
Hey, man, I thank all my brothers through college, you know, Jackson State included. That was my learning grounds. That was my proving grounds. I had to start somewhere, and I started there. Thank y'all, Jackson State.
So Jackson State, man, just had a phenomenal weekend. Congratulations to Travis Hunter. And can I just say this, y'all? Let me say this, and I promise you, y'all get out of that man's business. Leave him alone, right? He's still young. I know you love him, right? And I know you want the best for him, and I know you want to protect him and all of that, right? But he is a young man, and I honestly trust that he has people around him that would help him make the right decisions. But y'all take to social media for everything, man. Leave that man alone. Let him live his life, right? Let him live. Get you some business. You know, if that man has some business, get you some business and let that man live his life. Again, I trust that he has people around him that will shield, that will protect, and that will pray for him, and that, you know, all of his decisions will be made to his benefit and with his best interest at heart, right? So congratulations to him. You know, it really is an incredible honor when you recognize your starting ground, right? When you recognize where you got your start. And though he came to JSU because he was recruited by Coach Sanders, and that's fine, but he made a stop at Jackson State University. He played and had a great, a great record there, right? A great record there. And he went on to win the Heisman. So congratulations to him. A very, 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 very talented brother. All right, so that's all the fun stuff, good stuff. Now let's get on with some other news of the day, right? Some other news of the day. Unless you're living under a rock, you know that today was the sentencing hearing for William Polo Edwards. You know, out of all the years that I've been a journalist and out of all of the trials that I've covered, I just could not remember whether or not I had ever covered a sentencing hearing. I don't really remember that. I cannot recall whether I ever covered a sentencing hearing. But it was very interesting sitting in there. And it was very quick today, in and out, less than 30 minutes in and out. But it was very, 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 very interesting. And I want to take you inside the courtroom, and I want to play a few clips for you. But right now, let's just start with the opening clip as it relates to the way Judge Faye Peterson addressed the courtroom today. Take a listen.
Docket this afternoon, State of Mississippi versus William Aaron Edwards, 25 Good afternoon, Mr. Edwards, Mr. Long, how are you? So we're here this afternoon for sentencing. Before we always let the defendant have the last say or the last word. So if you don't mind, Mr. Edwards, I want to let you have a seat, and then if there are any persons who want to speak on behalf of the state first, and then any persons who want to hear you, and then you have the last word. Thank you. Mr. McCullough, does the state have any person or persons who want to make a big impact to the court?
This name is Weaver, and she just texted me. She says she's walking up.
She don't want anything. There she is.
All right, Ms. Weaver was, I would hasten to say she was late, though the proceedings had started, but when she walked in, she had to walk right up to the podium to take the mic. She had some lengthy words, and she did a direct appeal to William Edwards. And so now we'll give you an opportunity. If you did hear it earlier, we'll give you an opportunity to take a listen at what Miss Weaver had to say, and she spoke on behalf of the family.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jo Weaver. I am Bobby's older sister. I appreciate the opportunity to speak to Your Honor and everyone on behalf of my family. I have a very large family. This has been a very, it's been a horrible experience from May 1st. I wanted to basically, everything that I want to say, of course, time would not allow, we would be here all year. But I basically wanted to let Your Honor know the impact that Bobby's loss has been on our family and our community at large. Bobby was not just a brother. He was a son, my mom's only son, as a matter of fact. Bobby did grow up in a way that was, as we've seen, he had a background with many affiliations, but Bobby realized that his life, that he went through those things because it was an avenue to minister and change the lives of young people in the city of Jackson. He was the person that felt like Jackson could be not the place that we see today. He felt like Jackson had a lot of hope, and he wanted to bind together with members of the community, older members, people with influence like Mr. Edwards here, to help to change the community. He was a peacemaker. He was a trailblazer. He was an author. If there were children that were in the community that had problems reading, he would go into the schools and read to those children. He fed the less fortunate. He would make care packages through his organization, the Better Man Society, and take those care packages in the middle of the night to the less fortunate, socks, underwear, toiletries. This is who Bobby was. Bobby was never a threat to anyone. He wanted to make peace. And a simple conversation was all that it would have taken. I want to say that his loss in our church, in our home, my mother has been so sad that you've never seen her in public because she cannot stand to see anything or hear anything disparaging about this case. And of course, we know it was highly publicized and that we heard all different types of things and speculation about the circumstances surrounding this case that were true and some were not very true. But as a family, we had to stand and follow the process and understand that in order for justice to be served, that we had to be quiet and let the justice system take its course. So we trusted in the process of the justice system, only to sit through 2 court cases where we saw my brother's autopsy body displayed across the screen, and how horrible and traumatic that was for my family. People sending pictures to my mom, but we also realize that that is also part of this process. Not being able to have my brother at Thanksgiving eating up all the turkey and sweet potato pie is hard. Not having my brother here to publish the books that he had written and was getting ready to write. Not having my brother to build the projects and things that he had talked to my mom, who was his best friend, by the way, about, is hard for us, but we are finding a way. I want to thank, though, the justice process. And when I say that, I appreciate your honor for hearing the case. I appreciate the prosecution team from the DA's office. I appreciate the DA's office for walking through this process with us. It was hard, but we were informed, and they helped us to understand the parts that it was hard to navigate through. So I appreciate that. And now I want to briefly address Mr. Edwards. Mr. Edwards, I wasn't raised to be negative. So I'm not gonna say anything disparaging to you, sir. What I will say is that my mom wanted me to pass along that she is praying for you. I can't say on behalf of everyone in my family that we have forgiven you. We are trying to forgive you because we believe in order to see my brother again, we have to do that. And so it is our choice to try to move towards that. I would like to say, sir, that it was hard seeing all the smoke and the mirrors. I heard you say a lot of things, even to the fact of trying to malign my brother's honor by bringing up his affiliations. And guess what? We were also proud of those because it made him the man that he was. We were proud of those as well because he was a changed man. And he had tremendous influence, just like you, sir. You have influence. And I guess I would have hoped that with that God-given influence that you have, that you would have gotten and connected with Bobby to make Jackson a better place. You see, I don't think that you started out like the way that you are. I don't think that. I know members of your family, and they are wonderful individuals. So I know that this person that you present is not how you started. And my hope for you is that you would take this opportunity to do something positive with what you have until we all go to see God, because I know you know him. I also want to say that I heard you talk about truth, and I heard you say that Bobby, that y'all didn't have beef. Well, even a half truth is a lie, okay? No, Bobby didn't have beef with you, but I am aware that you were jealous of him for so many reasons that I won't go into. But even in that, and Bobby was told that, even in that, Bobby was not worried. Bobby was not afraid because he felt like men could sit down and have a conversation and not in a situation in violence like children. So I'm going to leave you with this. I heard you bring up a story or compare yourself in some ways to Jesus, okay? And how Jesus was being prosecuted. So let me also end my statement with this story in the Bible. There was a character named Lucifer in heaven. Lucifer was once one of the most beautiful angels. And Lucifer had a bunch of influence. So much so, he was able to convince a third of the angels that he was right and better than God. And it caused a third of the angels in heaven to be cast out of heaven with him because of his influence and his slick tongue. I know that you, sir, like Lucifer, have that type of influence, and you used that slick tongue to influence people in the community of your innocence, which we know that that's not the truth. I know that as my sister. But you almost succeeded in convincing everyone of your innocence, like the third of those angels. But thank God that those 12 that were sitting over there, that they saw right through it. God bless you.
Let me tell you something. She was absolutely incredible. Spoke extremely well, represented the family well. You know, listening to her today really reminded me that we don't give enough attention to the family of the victim, right? We don't give enough attention to the family of the victim to have to go through that, to have to relive all of that. It's taxing, man. It's tough. It's very taxing. It's very, 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 very tough. And um, and she did extremely well. She spoke extremely well and very calm, very soothing voice. And you know, I was going to say this too because sometimes we forget that we are humans, right? Sometimes we forget that we are humans and we try to be so holier than thou, and we forget from which we've come, and that we are all still a work in progress. It's okay, you know. Some of these fake Christians try to tell people how to feel, right? Try to tell people how to feel. It is absolutely okay for that family to still be grieving. It was okay when she said that her mom wanted Mr. Edwards to know that she was praying. It was okay for her to say that her family is working towards getting to a place of forgiveness, though not there now, but working to get to that place. And that's okay. That's human. That's okay. So you fake Christians can save all of that stuff, you know? You can save all of that stuff. It's okay. I don't think that we really give enough attention or pay enough attention to the victim's family because they had to relive that stuff all over again. And when she said, you know, her brother's body, you know, plastered on the screen, you know, after he had gone through the series of tests and all of this stuff, right? It's painful. Painful. That's painful, man. That's absolutely painful. And you know, I had a conversation with a friend earlier this evening, um, and she said to me, she said, you know, Othor, I've stopped saying, um, you know, in certain situations, I've stopped saying, I'm praying for you, when you're going through, I'm praying for you in certain situations, and she said, because sometimes folk deserve what they get because they caused all of this stuff, right? They caused all of this stuff. They did. Edwina, yeah, and my friend and I, we talked about that. Edwina says, Othor Cain, Polo tried to bash you and other people I know on social media. In the end, God has the last say. Remember that. And so here's the thing, I never addressed not one rumor, not one thing that man said about me. People tried to pull me into that. This week covering this trial, it's really the first time I've covered or did a show or had a show about him. People tried their level best to pull me into a conversation with him, but I wouldn't. And I just had to remind some people earlier this week, and I stand on this. I live by this. The truth needs no defending. That man, he knows of me, but he don't know me, right? We never met, right? We never met. The man don't know me. He know of me, right? And I can't tell you why. I can't tell you why he did the things that he did to folk. I can't tell you why he attacked me, or in his words, why he came down my road. How foolish is that, right? I can't tell you that. I can't tell you why. I can speculate, but I've never had a conversation with that man, right? I've never had a conversation with him. So yeah, so I can't tell you. I can't tell you why. But people tried to pull me into that. They tried to pull me into that. And I just would not. There were several people in that courtroom today who have been victims of his bashing, right? They've been victim of his bashing. And so yeah, Dr. Shell, that's my motto. I stand on that. The truth needs no defending. You don't have to defend the truth. You only have to defend lies, because you have to remember what you said, right? And why you said it, how you said it, and all of those kinds of things, not the truth. And so I know, and I stand solidly on this. I stand solidly on this. Not one time did I ever do anything to him. Not one time. Never said anything bad about him. Not one time. Right? Not. Let me fix that up. I've said a whole bunch of things bad about him, offline and to folk. I'm not that stupid, but I never went public with any of that stuff. I just wouldn't allow myself to get caught up into that kind of foolishness, because my platform was different than his, right? My platform was totally, and it remains different from his, a distinct difference, right? And so that's that. God bless him. God bless him. He too had an opportunity to address the court today, though dressed very differently than he was during the trial. Judge Peterson did give him an opportunity to share some final thoughts. Let's take a look at that. Take a listen.
I appreciate Ms. Weaver's impact statement. And I pray that her family finds the closure that it needs, even in the midst of her inaccurate assessment of me and the whole circumstances surrounding this. I'm not sure where she's getting her information from, but I pray that she finds the closure she needs. She talked a lot about responsibilities as believers and things like that. And we all do have a responsibility as a believer, and I am a believer. That's why I stand here today, still as I did on a couple of days ago, believing that at the end of this, God will see me through. And so I'm not worried about accusations. I'm not worried about false narratives. I'm not worried about what theory she has. As I said earlier, I know the truth. And this isn't the first time I stood in the courtroom and been falsely accused of something that had their case overturned. And so I trust the justice system. I trusted you. And the justice system made a decision. Now my job is to go back and find the errors where the justice system was wrong. So we stand on those promises. You know, I appreciate you for your diligence, and I appreciate the prosecutors for presenting their case. At the end of the day, I just pray and continue to pray that her family finds the true closure that they need.
You know, I will tell you, listening to him today, I was a little taken aback. I think I expected to hear some remorse. I think I was expecting to hear some remorse. I think that I was expecting to hear him ask for the mercy of the court. I think that's what I was expecting, and I don't know if I was expecting that just from all the court proceedings I've seen and witnessed. But I think that that's what I was expecting. But what I witnessed today, and what you just saw, what I witnessed today, was still a very defiant William Polo Edwards, a very defiant William Polo Edwards. I think his conversation today, and I think that you're right, Dr. J. I think that his conversation today was a step toward. It was almost a warning or an alert message that we are going to appeal. I did not expect him to admit guilt at all today. That was not what I was thinking. I was thinking that he would have asked for mercy, on the sentencing guidelines. But I was not expecting him to admit guilt at all. But I also was not expecting him to still maintain this defiant composure, right? I just did not expect that. I did not expect that at all. At all. But I will tell you that he's very consistent, right? He's very consistent. So even though I was expecting this, I will say he is extremely, extremely, extremely consistent. He really is. He's extremely consistent. And so after he had an opportunity to speak, Judge Peterson handed down the sentence. Let's take a look. Oh, I think we may be. All right, there we go. So after he spoke, Judge Peterson actually gave the sentence. Right. Let's take a look.
Mr. Edwards, let me just say to both you and to the family on this matter, there are no winners. The only thing the court heard this afternoon and during the proceedings was that there were two individuals who had potentially do great things in this community. The court knows that being in trial is a hard place to be, but I also know that you're a very intelligent person, and this was a talent lost. I observed that you had a great mind and the potential to have done anything that you wanted to. Like I said, it's a skill and a gift. A person may have an excellent oratorical gift, but it becomes a skill when it's trained. And unfortunately, you didn't choose that path that allowed you to abuse, but apparently was a gift. And that is to be able to communicate and to persuade people. And had you been trained, you probably could have been an extremely skillful attorney. And I know that. But that's not the case. If the jury found on a particular afternoon in 2022, and a postal decision was made to take the life of another individual, the court has sat through 2 trials in this matter, and it still seems like someone could have made another choice other than to go with all that you were doing whether it was good or bad, positive or negative, still it was impactful. And it's a shame that you wasted the opportunity that sometimes this community needs for people to do things. The jury has found you guilty of murder by deliberate design, which is first-degree murder. There are no options as to sentence for that. The court does have to sentence you to life in count 1. In count 2, you were found to be a convicted felon in possession of a firearm, a sentence which carries a penalty of up to 10 years. The court is going to sentence you to that 10 years and running in part with the sentence in count 1. I wish you well on the next phase of this. It's tragic to be at that season of life where you are having to face such a severe penalty as to have to spend those years in this custody and questions. But once again, there were no winners today. This court and no one here takes any pleasure in seeing that you have to be sentenced in this manner and having you found guilty. So I wish you well. I pray you Godspeed. The sentence of this court in count 1 is life in custody of Mississippi Department of Corrections, and in count 2, 10 years in custody of the Department of Corrections. Both sentences run concurrent, and will be given credit for time served. Ms. Malone asked if you would take an opportunity after the defendant is released to the Sheriff's Department to go over with him this timetable for peace. Thank you. Baby excuse. This concludes the matter of sentencing matter of Taylor City versus William Edwards. I do have other matters set on the docket, and I will take a recess so that we can those matters. Thank you.
All right. Y'all let me see.
So that someone reached out earlier today and said that they thought that Judge Peterson almost felt sorry for him, and they said to me that they thought that she felt sorry and that she was emotional in making her ruling today as it relates to the sentencing. And to which I responded by saying this: no, I think she was very genuine when she said the court does not take pleasure in this. No one gets any pleasure. Very genuine there, and I think she handled that with the utmost professionalism, like she did throughout the proceedings. Somebody said in the comments earlier, did Mr. Edwards go down Judge Peterson's road? It seems so. I didn't listen to him. If people would send me clips and I would click on when they were checking in on me, making sure that I was okay. When he would quote unquote go down my road, they would check in to make sure that I was okay, and so I would click in every now and again. But I just could not allow that crap to be deposited into my spirit. I'm just not built that way. Crap. That negative kind of stuff, I just don't allow that stuff to be deposited into my spirit, because what goes in is going to come out, right? I'm a firm believer that what goes in is going to come out. So what the deposits that you make will also be the withdrawals that you make. So you gotta protect your peace. You gotta protect, your inner being. You gotta protect your inner being. So I just wouldn't allow that crap to be deposited into my spirit. But so somebody asked, did he go down Judge Peterson's road? So I don't know. I think I've heard people say that. I didn't see it. I didn't witness it. I've heard people say that that he did attack her. Silly says people use the term narcissist way too loosely these days. However, he is a prime example of what it means to be a narcissist. Definitely a sociopath. There won't ever be any emotions. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I absolutely agree with that wholeheartedly. But yeah, so I never witnessed him talking about Judge Peterson, though I've heard many of conversations that he had. Um, I even heard conversations about him, wanting her off the case because of that. But that didn't happen, as you so well know that did not happen. But I thought she did extremely well handling the trial, and I thought uh, I agree with everything that you said. And when she said that, he is a smart guy, a talented guy, and could have offered so much. Listen, I think that the world needs agitators. Like I think of Charles Tisdale, and Charles Tisdale, um, who used to own the Advocate, right? Wife and daughter, they're at the helm of it now. But Charles Tisdale was an agitator. He was a disruptor, of the status quo, right? And when things weren't going right, he wasn't afraid to call people out on that. In some ways, I think that I'm an agitator to a degree, though my agitation comes with facts. Right, I think that I'm an agitator, and I think that this world needs that, and I really do think that that's probably why I managed the Link, did talk show and news show over at JSU, did talk show at Channel 16, but I think my very brand and the agitation sometimes that I cause, it's what also gave me pause from doing mainstream media full time every day, because in that space you can't really question, right? You can't say, "Oh, I know that ain't the truth." So let's explore this, right? So my point is, agitators, they have their place. We have our place, right? And I think Mr. Edwards is a smart guy, and I think he has great oratorical skills, and I do think he was well on his way of becoming a influencer, if you would, but he did not hone those skills in a way that benefited him. In a positive way that benefited him, and it's quite unfortunate. He hurt a lot of people in the process. I mean, he destroyed lives. If we're honest, he destroyed lives. He's convicted of murder. Speaking of destroying lives, but there were so many people. People lost jobs. They lost incomes. Because of the way he presented stuff. I mean, and people were threatened, right? Yeah, Jackie, and in fact, that's what Judge Peterson said. There were no winners today. Mr. Davis is gone, and Edwards will never know freedom again. Families are affected forever, and so Judge Peterson was very clear that there were no winners today, and no one takes pleasure in this space. Even his harshest critic, um, um, are not necessarily rejoicing for that, but guess what? If there are folk, and again, all of you fake wannabe pretend to be Christians, if there are folk rejoicing today because of this, guess what? It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. And I think that, you got to give people room to navigate, right? You got to give people room to navigate. Well, Ryan, I know you are, and it's okay, brother. It's absolutely okay. I witnessed, you know, this lengthy battle that went on between the two of you. I witnessed that, especially your responses, because I hardly saw any of his, um, um, but I witnessed your responses, and it's okay if you're rejoicing. I get it. I totally, totally, totally get it. I totally, totally, totally get it. But it is an unfortunate situation. And to Judge Peterson's point, right? He had all of this talent, but he just didn't use it in the right way. And that brought him to the situation that he faced today. And I would say to all of us, right? Oh, Ryan, absolutely, brother. I get it, man. I absolutely get it. I absolutely get it. But here's what I would say. I would say to all of us, all of us, all of us, we've all got to give an account, right? We've all got to give an account, right? We've all got to give an account of what we did or did not do, right? We've all got to give an account. So I would caution you, right, to be very, 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 very careful, because what you put out, it's going to come back. It's going to come back. It's going to come back. You know, I met Mr. Davis. I've not known, I didn't know him very long at all. Didn't know him very long at all. But because of my radio and community work, and because of his community work, our paths crossed. And I had hoped, when I started following the Better Men Society, when I started following that and following their work, I had hoped that we would be able to do a project or something together, or some kind of work together, because I think that Mr. Davis represented a man of redemption. How many of us have been redeemed, right? I think that he represented a man of redemption. He represented a person that God could touch, put his hands on, and turn his life around. I think that's what he represented. And I know I'm a child of redemption, right? I know I'm a child of redemption. And so I had hoped that we would be able to do some things together. But tragically, his life was taken. All of the dreams, hopes, and aspirations that he had, zapped, gone, kaput. That was taken from him. And so again, I would caution all of us. We all have to give an account, right? I don't want to be too preachy, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But a tragic situation, and so I am certain Mr. Edwards is going to plan to appeal. I think he made a grave mistake representing himself. Although I thought he did well, like I said to you, he represented himself well, but just not skilled enough to navigate through this process, man, on your own. Just not skilled enough at all. Listen, we've got to get out of here, but I cannot leave without reminding you that I am putting the final touches on marketing materials for our Father's Day weekend event, where we're going to take 100 young boys and put them in suits and pair them with 100 men and pour them together for dinner, for an etiquette class, right? For life lessons and motivation and life skills, right? So we're putting the final touches on that. And so we need you. We need you to spread the word. So it will be Father's Day weekend. That's Saturday. We need you to spread the word. And when we get these marketing materials all together, we want to be able to tap in for your sponsorship so that you can help us. Like I've been saying, I know what a suit did for me. I know how it changed my mind, my mind, my life, my attitude. I know what a suit did for me. And we want to put these boys in a suit and offer them some mentoring. They say that a good coach can change the game, but a great coach can change a life. And we need champions for our young boys. I believe that if we grab these boys, and show them an alternative, put them in a suit, we can change the trajectory. We can win this city back. So we're working diligently to put that together. I hope you would stand with us when we go through that. We want to get 100 boys, put them in suits, Father's Day weekend, etiquette classes, life skills. We want to do it. Appreciate you, Brother Mac. I appreciate it. All right, so 100 boys in suits, Father's Day weekend. Let's change the trajectory of our Black boys. All right, let's do it. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate your being here with us tonight. Again, I appreciate every donation. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your engagement. That's our broadcast for tonight. For all of us here at the Othor Cain Show. Have a great night.
It belonged to the Jackson State Tigers. The I love. You can celebrate in the SIP. You are the 2024 Cricket Celebration Bowl champions. Taking back an HBCU national championship to the city with soul. Third time was the charm for the Tigers, who came up short in their first two attempts. But T.C. Taylor, it's his time. His team got it done today.
Those two worked hard to achieve this goal. Jackson State, one of the more legendary programs in HBCU football. He's brought the pride back in there and kept it going. The I love. Congratulations on your championship.
Ties the largest margin of victory in the Celebration Bowl. If you go back to 2021, that get back happened